On March 14th and 15th, 2013, Nancy and I took a trip up to Stowe, Vermont to do some hiking and snowshoeing, and a little skiing as it turns out. On the map you see here, Stowe is just above the word Vermont. The Stowe ski area is at the base of Mount Mansfield. At just under 4,400 feet, Mount Mansfield is the highest point in Vermont. The ski trails looked pretty amazing from the ground while we were there. Stowe itself is at the southeast end of a road that goes up through Smuggler's Notch, a mountain pass between Sterling Mountain and Spruce Peak on the east and Mount Mansfield on the west. Smuggler's Notch Ski Resort is at the northwest end of the notch. In the winter, about a 3-mile section of road is closed to traffic and open to cross-country skiers and snowshoers. We walked this road, which was the highlight of our stay in Stowe. Stowe and the area around Mount Mansfield is just filled with trails for hiking and skiing. The Vermont Long Trail passes through here, as does the Catamount Cross-Country Ski Trail, which covers 300 miles from Vermont's southern to northern border. Our first foray on Thursday was to Bingham Falls, a spectacular series of cascades, including a 25-foot waterfall along the west branch of the Waterbury River. This video that I downloaded from YouTube shows what the falls looks like in the summertime. Of course, it was much different when we were there. Here's Nancy on the path down towards the falls. Of course, we didn't actually walk down there. It was too treacherous, but these views you can kind of see. You really don't get a sense of how rushing the water was. That sort of twig-like thing that you see in the middle of the picture there is actually a big log the size of a big pine tree. Here you're looking down into the gorge, and you don't really get a sense here of how deep the thing is.
Okay, we're at Bingham Falls, hoping we don't get swept down the falls.
This is another section a little bit farther away from the falls, and it's really incredibly steep. You're looking down into some rushing water here. You got some trees growing in there, those big blobs of ice. There you get a sense of some of the rushing water.
Look at that. My God.
Here's an area where you can kind of see the rock jutting out with the snow on it, and there's a big tree growing in there, and everything is empty underneath with that rock just kind of hanging over there. I sure wouldn't want to be standing out on that. Nancy and I kind of kept our distance from that area, tried to sneak up to look down on it, but we were scared to get too close. We walked a little bit in this area above the falls, and I think you can kind of see the water rushing here. I took some videos.
Here we are at the upper level of Bingham Falls.
So this was a wonderful place to visit, a great place to see rushing water in action. Next place we went was Misener Woods. It's a whole series of trails owned by the Stowe Nature Conservancy, and it had wonderful whole complex of trails running through there. One trail that we took went up through someone's land. We had fabulous views. The pictures don't even quite do it justice. Although we did see some huge rocks, huge rock outcroppings, a number of really neat looking trees, even one that had a little gnome home. The highlight for us was our hike up the closed Route 108 through Smuggler's Notch. It was a sunny day with no wind. The previous day there had been 40-mile-an-hour winds and no visibility, so we were in luck. It took us 2 hours to get up to the top, with numerous stops to check out the stream that runs along the side of the road, or to look back down the slope to where we had started. As we got higher, the road got narrower and narrower, the mountains higher, and the size of the boulders that had obviously broken off the cliffs much bigger. We could also see the huge ice formations that had formed on the cliffs. There were even rock and ice climbers out, since the conditions were apparently perfect for this crazy activity. You can see them up on the side of the slope in these views.
Okay, here we are getting up to the top of Smuggler's Notch, and it is so quiet.
Well, after we got to the top, we were wondering about, well, should we continue on down to the other side, go back the way we came? We'd seen a couple of cross-country skiers go by us before, so we thought, well, maybe we could try that ourselves, go down the other side. And unfortunately, we'd thought ahead and brought our cross-country skis with us. So here you see Nancy putting on her skis, getting all ready. She's about to take off, and here she goes, and I'm following right behind. It's a little treacherous. Boy, she's really going. Watch, see how she takes this curve. Boy, it is hard holding this camera and trying to get this all at the same time, but we are managing better than I ever thought we would. There, oh God, there she goes. Oh boy, we're coming to the end here. Oh no, wait a minute now. I think there's some obstacles. Yikes, down here one of us has spun out. Fortunately, though, Nancy seems to have made it down the hill. Back down at the base of the mountain, and it's been a great couple of days. We're going to leave here with wonderful memories of our times on the slopes, in the forests, and just looking at the mountains of Stowe, Vermont.